So, did a rough sketch of a Bellow camera. Usually Kodak had these Art Deco folding types that had a bellow in it, and they were mostly, they had a black case around it, and they looked very much like this. So I did a rough sketch to kind of have an idea of what it would look like. So what I want to do is I want to create one of these for a photo shoot. Now, there's so many different ways you could make the bellow. You could make it out of paper, you could fold it very carefully, but I thought, why don't we use a floral foam and cardboard, and probably some PVC and some Fila clay to create all of this. Let's do it. We are using a piece of floral foam today, and this is the soft kind. This is not the hard kind. There are two types of floral foams. The first one is a soft. You put this in water, it absorbs. It's just called Oasis, is the name brand. And then you have a hard foam, which is usually used to put artificial flowers in for, say, cemetery stones. Now, if you know how to work this very easily, you can see that the shape of the floral foam right now is the same exact shape as our camera. So what we need to do is cut this at angles to create a pyramid with a flat top on it. So let's make a shape out of this and see what it looks like. So with my Etcho blade, I had used and I sliced down the floral foam to this shape, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Looks like this now. Okay. Now you can probably go to a flea market or even eBay or one of those type of places and actually get an antique camera for as low as $5. However, if you wanted something really special and you wanted to create something maybe like a certain special type of camera that you couldn't find, or something that was imaginary, or something that was really wild, this is the way to go. So now that I had created that shape, we're going to start cutting now into here the bellow pieces. Let's do that. Once your bellow starts taking shape, now you can just finish it. I did one side just to see what this is going to look like. Now I'm going to continue over. I'm going to make the lines at the top over here. I'm going to continue and make the rest of it. So let's see what this looks like when it's finished. I got excited. I wanted to show you the second side. It's already taking shape. Okay, so let's work on this one. Once you get all four sides of your camera cut out, I would recommend using a soft Chinese brush and going into, and it will taking out all of the dust and anything that shouldn't be in there to smoothen and soften this. The Chinese brush is actually acting like sandpaper. It's very, very softly grinding that down to a nice smooth finish. I would also highly recommend two important things. One, being very, very careful with your Etcho blade, and two, wearing a mask while you're doing this project. Next two steps we need to do is we need to cut this to size, and we also need to apply an acrylic shield. I'm using a 660 black over here for our first coat. If we want to add, say, like a dark and light area to each and every one of these grooves, we can do that a little bit later. So what we need to do is cut and paint. Let's do that now. I had gone to one of my favorite stores where I buy all kinds of great things. It's called Samhua here in my city, and look what I had found. Took one of these apart. This is a children's microscope set. Okay, it comes with 2 lenses and a piece like this. Now, what's so cool about that is that you can use these lenses for the cameras. You know, just putting that bad guy back in there. There's the lens right there for the camera. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, so we've got our part here all done up. We're going to put the hot glue on our lens. Just put a little bit around the edge. Eyeball this the best way we can and put that right like that. Check it out. Look at that. Hey, that went on really nice. Okay. Keeps getting better and better. What I did was I took a piece of styrofoam dish and measured it out to the size of the back, because basically it would, at the time, it would have folded down to measure out the size of the bellow. Now, on that, because when you opened it up, because the little door would pop open, it would be the same size. But I also had noticed that I cut the top a little bit too short. So basically, I'm making 2 rounded pieces out of the circular foam, here the tube foam. I'm going to put those on top and bottom. And then I want to add this piece that came off of the corner of the styrofoam dish. I want to like hot glue that guy on there. That just looks cool. Maybe I'll make it a little bit shorter. I'm not sure, but let's paint it back. The one thing I really love about this is that you're not going to see this. It's all, the printing that's on here, the imprinting is not going to be seen. Love this, that actually has the ridges on there. Don't worry about that. It's a J8 camera. Who knows? Anyways, so let me grind this down, make it a little bit smoother, clean these pieces up, and paint and assemble them. So we painted the 2 top parts. So we've got the little leg part. I actually drove a toothpick through there so I could paint that up, and I also did the base part here. I want to show you one other thing before I go in. I had taken their tube and I had cut it in layers. So I have 2 layers. I'm working on several cameras at one time. We're going to also paint this black, and we're going to use them as handles for the camera. And what I'm going to use to pin those down, check these out. They're nothing more than paper pins that kids would use in school to like make something that like turns, like you have a piece of paper like a wheel or something, and you poke it through. These are going to be the perfect rivets. So if we have to, we'll age them. Another great element of the bellow camera is we're going to bring a little bit of shadowing here in the bellows, and we're going to mix up 1 part 660 black. We're going to mix up a burnt umber 624, and to create the highlights that we're really going to need, we're going to a little bit of shadowing. We're going to do a 600 white today. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I've mixed up my burnt umber and my black. We want to look for the right tone. We want to have the color that's just enough so we know that it's an angle, but not too much that we destroy what we've already made. So actually I could go a shade darker. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, let me just put a little bit more black in there. Yeah, just a little bit more black, just in case. I just want just enough. I think I got it. Okay, very good. Let's start doing our bellow. I'm dipping into the paint, and I'm going to do this side. I think we can do a little bit lighter that time. There we go. Just enough. I'm going to do this in various spots. So I'm going to do this side, but not the other. I'm just dry brushing it on there. I don't want it too thick. Just enough. And then we're going to do the edges of all of them to look like they're worn, like it's been a worn camera. So let me finish these. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, once you get the bellow looking softer now because we used that light tone, we're going to crispen the edges because we want that to look like it's been folded and unfolded. So we're going to take the paint that we have, we're going to add a little bit of white to that and make these very emphasized. Okay, I'm just going into the white a little bit more. Sometimes. There it is. And there we have our prop bellow camera with lens. I even added a little foot over here, so when this retracts it goes inside the case. Handle's been put on there, and the base that holds it up.